Imagine waking up in a world where the United States looked at World War II, shrugged, and said, "Yeah, no thanks. We're good." A world where Pearl Harbor happened and America simply replied, "Crazy weather we're having, huh?" Because that's basically the alternate universe we re-stepping into. One where the most powerful country in the world chose to mind its business, while the rest of the planet caught on fire like a cheap gas station sandwich. So buckle up, because this timeline gets weird, dark, and surprisingly petty. First, Europe. Without the U.S., the Allies look like a group project where the one reliable kid suddenly transferred schools. Britain is still fighting, shaking its fists across the channel, running on tea, hope, and Winston Churchill's speeches. But let's be honest, Churchill can only inspire so many late-night morale boosts before reality kicks in. Without U.S. supply chains, Lend-Lease aid, and industrial muscle, Britain is basically trying to stop a hurricane using a slightly damp umbrella. They fight, they struggle, they ration everything from food to toothpaste. But eventually the war drags too long. The economy crumbles, and the island nation becomes a battered marathon runner begging for a water break. Meanwhile, Nazi Germany looks around and realizes something strange. Wait, the Americans aren't coming? For real? Nobody told them about us. Without the U.S. entering the war, Germany is suddenly like that villain who realizes the final boss fight has been accidentally canceled. Hitler gets to move his full military weight toward the Soviet Union without worrying about two fronts. And when the Soviet Union collapses, it collapses dramatically. Imagine the world's biggest, frostiest game of tug-of-war turning into a one-sided beatdown. Japan? Japan is thriving in this timeline. Without U.S. intervention, they race through the Pacific like they're speedrunning a video game. Southeast Asia? Conquered. Australia? Terrified. The Pacific Ocean? More like the Japanese lake. And with no U.S. island hopping campaign, no atomic bombs, and no American fleet blocking their expansion, Japan becomes a full-blown empire stretching across half the world. Imagine an entire hemisphere operating on Tokyo Standard Time. Now picture this: Germany controlling Europe and Japan controlling Asia. Two massive empires looking at each other from across the world like rival CEOs waiting for someone to blink. But guess what? Someone does blink, and it isn't pretty. Because while the U.S. is sitting at home baking pies, arguing about baseball, and pretending isolationism works, the rest of the world is basically turning into a dystopian super empire theme park. Back in America, things get awkward. Very awkward. Without the war boosting manufacturing, America's economy recovers way slower. No wartime boom, no explosion of jobs, no greatest generation narrative. Instead, the U.S. becomes the guy at the party who didn't help clean up the mess but still wants a slice of pizza. Except now the people who did clean up the mess, Germany and Japan, are staring directly at him. And here's where it gets spicy. A world where the Axis powers win doesn't stay over there. Eventually, when they're done dividing continents like monopoly boards, they look at the U.S. and ask, "So, you didn't want to fight? Cute. Move over." Suddenly America is no longer the land of freedom and jazz. It's a country staring at two massive superpowers with zero allies left. The U.S. has no bases in Europe, no foothold in Asia, no global presence, and no backup. Just a lot of nervous politicians sweating through their suits. Meanwhile, technology? Oh boy, forget American innovation as we know it. Without the U.S. military pouring money into research, there's no Manhattan Project, no jet engine race, no radar boom. Germany and Japan dominate science. The first man on the moon? Not Neil Armstrong. Probably someone named Klaus. Imagine turning on the radio and hearing, "This is Apollo 9 mission. We have landed on der Moon. Heil from space." Terrifying. And let's not forget what comes with a world ruled by the Axis powers: censorship, surveillance, oppression, and a global dictatorship that makes dystopian movies look like Disney+. Entire cultures erased. Freedom's gone. History rewritten by the victors. And all because America decided to sit this one out like it was skipping gym class. But here's the funniest, most ironic twist of this entire alternate reality. Americans would still blame everything on Congress. Imagine millions of people sitting at diners saying, "Why does Germany run half the world? Why does Japan control the oceans? Why can't we vote without surveillance drones watching us? And someone replies, probably the Democrats, or probably the Republicans. Because no matter the timeline, Americans will always argue about politics. Universe-level consistency. Eventually, the U.S. would face the truth. Staying out of World War II didn't keep them safe. It just delayed the moment the storm reached their shore. You can't ignore a global fire when the firefighters are losing and the arsonists are winning. And by the time America realized this, it would be boxed in by empires too powerful to fight alone. No Hollywood golden age. No post-war boom. No American superpower era. No NATO. No UN. No global leadership. Just a quiet nation overwhelmed by giants because it chose silence while the world screamed. So what's the lesson here? Simple. Sometimes minding your business is the worst possible strategy, especially when the rest of the planet is busy being conquered. In our real timeline, U.S. intervention didn't just change the war. It changed the world. It prevented a global dictatorship, rebuilt nations, accelerated technology, and created the balance of power that shaped modern life. But in this alternate reality, the U.S. didn't save the world, and the world didn't forget. So the next time someone says America should just stay out of global issues, imagine this alternate timeline, where the world map looks like a villain's wallpaper and history is written in two languages, German and Japanese. Be grateful for the timeline we actually got, because the other one wasn't trending, trust me. And hey, if you enjoyed getting your brain twisted today, do the magic YouTube thing. Smash like so the algorithm doesn't treat this channel like America treated World War II. Drop a comment telling me what crazy what if I should explore next, and subscribe before gravity turns off or something weird happens. Because in this universe, you don't want to miss what happens next.